Hi, I am Roxy. I am here to ask you to do something for Steve6464. Can you watch as much of the video that you can? Then before you leave a comment. Make it a critique, a constructive criticism. Thanks. Oh, he's about to start. Bye.
Alright, now that the sound is on, let me try that again. Welcome back, I am Steve6464. This is Season 7, Part 2 of Let's Build This. We're working on an animation using Photoshop and Poser. And hopefully this will kind of help explain, demonstrate why the continents are different sizes in some of the different space videos and photographs that flat earthers seem to find. Alright, but before we get started, let's review last week. Turn the sound up, Meyer. Okay, that was last week. If you're reviewing, please just say hi in the chat. And let's get started. So just a quick overview again. The top left is my handsome mug. Middle left is a Word document on my screen to the right. It's my secondary screen. It's just a old flat screen TV. The rolling is because the flicker rate's different than the camera, and I can't seem to fix it. At least not with the settings that I have. And then lower right is a camera pointed at the screen, because there's some things that the main screen won't show, but the lower right camera will catch. Like, it won't show dialog boxes, it won't show the menus when they pop down. So what were we doing? We were, I'm going to switch to Photoshop. Alright, last week I originally had this image on just a square, and had colored it and adjusted it in Poser on that square. And I really liked the color, but I didn't like what happened when I switched the focal lengths on the camera, so then I just added it as a background in Poser, and no matter where the camera is and focal length, whatnot, this image will always be there. And I don't think you guys are seeing Photoshop. I think you guys are seeing Poser. There we go. So what I want to do is try to match this to the background I had last week, which might be a challenge because I deleted a lot of stuff. So what we need to do is I'm going to go to my file manager and see what I have. Oh, I do. Okay. Great. So this was the last test I did with the background as I liked it. So let's open this up. And compare the two and see if I can't match the backgrounds. Alright. So yes, we need to go lighter and more blue. So let's start with levels. Okay, I find the best thing to do is just hit auto, adjust the gray tones, okay, and let's flicker test. Okay, it's brighter, more contrastier. I think I know why, but that's fine. I'm liking this. Color adjustment, image, adjust hue and saturation. See how that works. Change the hue. Let's make it more cyan-y, and it's not affecting the shadows. So let's try color balance. That will let you affect the highlights, midtones, shadows. Start with the shadows. Black is going to stay black, isn't it? Oh, quite a bit different. This one's more purpley, isn't it? I also want to lighten it a bit. I'm going to use levels again. Well, that's too much. Maybe just a bit lighter. What if I lowered the contrast? I'm going to stop. File, save as, background texture 002. No compressions. Alright, save on RAM. Let's close these. And let's go to Poser and switch our scene. Okay. File, import, background picture. Hey, dog watcher. Yep. Stay as long as you want. The background with height ratio is, okay, just open it. There we go. Now that I see it on set, I think it's too light. It's not separating. So back to Photoshop. Let's go from the original. Okay, Control L, Auto. I think I'm not going to go much more lighter. Bring down the contrast a bit. Okay, let's open up our sample. How's the sound? Am I too modulated, too low, too loud? Okay. Yeah, let's try to get the shadows more bluish. And we'll see how that looks. We'll give it a good feathering. Let's expand it first. 5. No, that's not what I want. And feather 5. And image adjust. Color balance. Shadows. Yeah, I still have to figure out how to how I want to fix that. Wonder if that's something I can do right on YouTube, or do I have to upload another video? Alright, it does make it more blue. Okay. Hide the marquee. Well, it's not going to be the same, but it's definitely not as bright as the first try. File, save as, not important, 003. Alright, close this, go back to Poser, switch my scene, and Poser, file, import, background pick, 03. Yeah, that's better. Because the object of our focus should be the ball here. Alright, let's focus on now doing what we came here to do. Alright, and let's quickly render this to see where I'm at. So this is at a focal length of 0.5 millimeters. And if I remember correctly from last week, I might be too close. If it renders a donut, I'm too close. If it renders a ball, I should be fine. And it rendered a donut. And I should get rid of that square with the old background props. Cloth plane. Object, delete object. Yes. Save. Alright, this probably doesn't show, but I'm trying to break this into thirds. So I have some Scotch tape here to mark the center third, and it's also going to be a guide for me to how much enlarge this ball. So each time I change the focal length, I'll have to resize, move the camera until the ball fits into this Scotch tape I have. Then this side, I'm going to have Roxy. I'll probably animate that separate than this, and I'll have her reading out, you know, the focal length, how much percentage of the ball is being used. And then on this side, I'm going to have the stats. So quarter of a millimeter. What does half of a millimeter do? I thought I had changed that. Well, not 5 millimeters. Too soon for 5 millimeters. 0.5. There we go. And we're already at 21 feet away from the center of this ball. And it's still 21 feet. Well, it's 21.6. What the heck? .6. Alright, we're too close. 21.7. Too far. 21.65. 21.67 feet. No, we want to go closer, not smaller. 21.63. 21.61. 21, not 61, 21.61. Okay, that's close enough. Now let's give this a render and see what we have. Again, we want a ball, not a donut. Dog Walker, you got any plans for the rest of your evening? You're surely not going to spend it with me. All right. That is our first image. That gives us something to work with. Excellent. All right, back to preview. So what do I want to do? All right, I'm going to add a whole bunch of frames. Okay, this is 0.5. Okay, 0.5 millimeters at 21.61 feet. There is a way to change this to metric, but I'm an American. I'm not going to do it. I think what I want to do is I'm going to start with the camera way far away. Even pulling it back at a 0.5 millimeters, you can start to see that that the grid is, you can see more of the ball. Alright, so what are you having? I just had some bagels of cream cheese for lunch. Let's make it a 1.5 zoom. Alright, so I said that was 21.61. Okay, keyframe, add. Alright, and then I think I want to hold it for 3 seconds. Every second is 30 frames, 3 seconds is 90 frames. We're already at 45. Frame 135. And at frame 135, keyframe, let's double the focal length to 1 millimeter. And let's zoom out until that fits in between my tape. Alright, right there. Keyframe. Wait a minute. I think I messed that up, right? So, 1.5 zoom. I hate poser. Now let's see what happens. Yeah, you weren't supposed to do that. So let's go back. Let's get rid of everything we've done. Let's just go back to 45. Yes. 45. Keyframe. Let's save this. Save early, save often. Alright. Keyframes. I'm going to have this off to the side. Chroma with rice. What is chroma? Probably can't see this. Or at least not all of it. Alright. Let me, so green. Okay. Green is more of a, moves it more organically. And if I change it to tan or brown, makes it more, not organic, more of a straight line. So let's go back to frame 45, and we want to hold this for 3.5 seconds, which is 130, frame 135, frame 135, and we want to hold it. Copy frame 145, drop it into frame 135. Okay. Then we want to switch. We want to take another second and a half to go from 0.5 millimeters to 1 millimeter. So that's plus 45, 180. Okay. So we add another 45 frames. Move to 180. And oh, I wonder if it's going to, it will. It'll animate. It will animate the focal length. So let's make the focal length also tan. And place that at 180. Right? Oh, okay. I tried Indian once. I wasn't impressed. Too spicy. Right. Oh, no. We want it to stay the same into frame 135. Right. We want it to stay the same. We want it to stay the same. We want it to stay the same until 135. Okay. And I think I'm going to give it a half a second. So it would be frame 150. Right. Right, and then at 150 we double the focal length to 1 millimeter. All right. And at half a second we don't want the camera to move. All right, and now, so we're at 150 now, right? And we want a second and a half of movement. So 195 should be our new Z difference. So 195. Alright, so 195 our new Z distance. And keyframe that. Okay. So let's see what we have so far. Okay. So next is another 45 frames. It's now 240. Oh, where are we at in distance? 1 millimeter focal length is 21.96 feet. Okay, so we want 240. It's only 130. Seems I've been doing this longer. Alright, so we zoomed confusing myself. And we want the focal length to stay the same while we zoom. Okay, while we zoom. Right, so we want a half a second to change. Half a second is 15 frames, so 210. And at 210, we double the focal length. And we don't affect the Z at first half second. Save this. Alright, so we double the focal length, 2 millimeters. the Z distance back. Right. No, we're just changing the focal length. Alright, then we're going to go take a second and a half to pull back. So that's 200 frame 255. Change to 255. And now we adjust the Z distance. Right. Make that a keyframe. We don't want to adjust the focal length. Control V. Okay, save. Alright. Let's switch next. Let's see what we have. Alright. The new size we want to hang on to, well, the distance, mark that down, 23.16 feet. And we want to keep this for 3 minutes, 3 seconds. I think I might have already screwed up, didn't I? Okay, so we're right, 45. Oh, for Christ's sake. So 45. Okay, 90 plus 15, which is 105, right? Okay, 105. Could write this down. Z change 45 frames. Weight 105 frames. Lens change 15. Then we rinse and repeat. Okay. So we weight 105. It's 150. that ain't right. Alright, let's start over. Well, let's go back to 45. Right, 45. And then we're going to wait 105 frames, which is 150. And in that time, the Z difference isn't changing. Keyframe that. And the focal length isn't changing. Keyframe that. And save. Alright, then we are going to go lens change, 15 frames, half a second, and that will be 165. Mm, 165. And in that half a second, we don't want the Z to change. Keyframe that. Alright, but we do want the focal length to change. And then we are going to 45 frames to zoom out, which is 210. I'm only going to do this for an hour today, not 2 hours like last week. So I got another 15-20 minutes, give or take. Alright, and at 210, we're zooming out, right? And I did write down that Z difference, or distance, 21.96. File, save. Okay, no, not save as. File, save. Alright, and we want to sit here for 3.5 seconds, which is another 105 frames. First of all, we don't want things changing, so we need to make a few keyframes. And why did it get smaller? Okay, it shouldn't have. Or should it? Was this the zoom out, or was this the weight? This should have been the weight. Oh, this was the lens change. No, this should have been the weight. 15 frames and then weight. What's going on here? Oh, we should have zoomed it. Right, we should have zoomed it at 165. No, wait, that was just the focal length change. Yeah, Meyer. I even wrote this down, and I haven't been following my own. All right. Half a second lens change, and a second and a half Z change. So 165 plus 45 equals 210. All right, I had it right, I think. Wonderful. Oh, Meyer. Okay. And the Z change is 21.96. Perfect. Okay. Keyframe that so stupid stuff don't happen. We're not changing the focal length. Keyframe that. Save. Okay. We want to wait on this for 105 frames, which is now frame 315. And let's go to frame 315. And we don't want anything to change in the 3.5 seconds. I like 3.5 seconds because it's just enough time to read what usually I put on a slide. Okay, and then 15 frames. It's 330. We want a lens change, 2 millimeters. but we don't want a Z change. And let's make the proper keyframes. Okay, we did a lens change. Now we want to do a Z change. That's 45 frames. 375. And at 375, we do not want a lens change. But we do want a Z change, and I think I have that written down still. The last one I wrote down, 23.16 feet. And let's definitely keyframe that. Okay. So we did a Z change. Now we're going to do the weight. It is now 480 frames. Clean up my notes a bit. Okay. So this is, we're doing the weight. Okay. And nothing changes on the weight. And no, none of my other animations go any smoothly. It's always this guess, second guess, then finally decide I need to write things down, and then it still doesn't do much. Alright, let's see what we have. Okay. So we just did our weight. Now we're going to do our lens change. 495. $495. And we have the lens change, so not the Z change. Lens change to 4 millimeters. Keyframe that. Okay, lens change. The Z change. 45 frames. $495 plus 45. 540. Oops. Oh, no, we don't need the Z change yet. Alright, 540. Go to frame 540. We're not changing the focal length, so we'll take care of that right away. But we are changing the Z distance to 27 feet, 0.33. And let's keyframe that. Alright, I'll do one more round. I'll do weight, lens, and another change, and then I'll call it a day. If anybody's still out there. Exciting stuff, isn't it? Okay, so I just did a Z change. So now we're going to do a weight of 105 frames, 645. And then go to frame 645. And this is a weight, right? So we don't want Z change. And we don't want lens change. Keyframe these. I think they might already be, but it ain't gonna hurt to actually tell the program to do that. Okay, that was a weight, lens change plus 15 frames, 660. 8 millimeters. Let's make the let's add the appropriate frames. And seeing I messed up, let's re-keyframe this. Alright, and then let's go to frame 660. Should make it 666 just to trigger the fluoresce. Alright, we're at frame 660 and we're doing a lens change. 8 millimeters. Right. But the Z distance isn't changing. Let's leave that alone. And keyframe that. And I said I would do one more weight plus 105. Oh no, this is a Z change. Duh. 660 plus 45. 705. Okay, 705. And Z change. Okay, and that is 29.46 feet. Alright, so that was the Z change, but the focal length did not change. Okay, now we're going to do a weight plus 105, 810. I might have to render this in several steps. Alright. There is no lens change. There is no focal length change. File, save, 10. Okay, let me put a note saying stopped at weight. Okay, nothing important. So let's see what we have so far. That was weird. Yeah, that's weird. That shouldn't have happened. It shows less of the ball. Okay, 4 millimeters. Should have been 495, right? Eight millimeters. Right, 4 millimeters. Okay. 540. So there's 1, 2, 3 squares. Okay. 4 millimeters. And the 2.5 zoom. 4 millimeters. Then there's the weight, 645. Okay, still 4 millimeters. Then there's the lens zoom, 660, 8 millimeters. Okay. Then there's the zoom, 705. Why is that? What happened? Alright, so if anything, there should have been more boxes showing up. Well, I have 3. If I go to 705, I have 1.5. And nothing's changed. So I'm going to take this back. To 660. Alright. And 660 was the lens zoom. Alright, so let's go to 705. Which is the Z change. We're not changing the focal length. Focal length staying the same. But the Z difference it's like it's going through some sort of weird tunnel. But it renders fine. Alright, let me export this and let's take a look at it in Photoshop. Well, so much for getting done in an hour. And it doesn't render the back. Jesus Christ. Oh, you can't see that. I need to switch. So what's going on? It rendered the background in the other one. And it shows the background in here. That is so weird. Is it not rendering the background in any of them? So I didn't look at the other one in Photoshop. It is not rendering the background. And I can always, but that, to do that for like 1,000+ frames, paste in the background. You would think why wouldn't it render the background? Maybe because it's TIFF? Or if I export it as a PNG? Oh, still no background. This pisses me off. I got two problems to fix. One problem is, why is it only rendering that much? And why isn't it rendering the background? Well, it's rendering the background. It's there. Why isn't it saving the background? Export image. Photoshop. Alright, if I save it as a Photoshop, it'll bring in the background. The question is then, will my video editor one, will my video editor read Photoshop? And two, if it doesn't, will it read, I know it will read the TIFF, but will it pick up the background? So, and why is it doing that? And we want this. And import that. And no, it's not reading the background. It's reading the background as black. So what if we, I don't want to have to do this for 1,000 frames. No, it's flattened. That just sucks. Close this, don't save. Photoshop. Close, close. Poser. The poser scene, yeah, okay. Render it again, see what happens. I mean, if I have to, I can set up actions in Photoshop to drop in a background. But why I don't get all of a sudden area that it's rendering is different now. Well, maybe if I usually render each frame and then put it together in the video editing, but I don't have to. I mean, this will render a video, so maybe if I render it as a video and not as individual frames. See, this is, and this are the same size, but this is ridiculous. I don't understand what's going on. So I stopped at 750, 705, which would be the weight, right? No, 705. 705 is the Z change. All right, well, go back to scene one. Turn that off. Okay. Well, thank you for sticking around for as long as you did, if anyone is still here. And okay. And yeah, I'm going to call it quits. Thank you for sticking around for as long as you did. Have a good day. Be safe. Be a friend to someone who needs a friend. And the last thing I have to say is,
look, an echo chamber of derp.
Derp, derp, derp.
Derp, 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 derp,
Derp, derp, derp, derp, derp. Derp, 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 derp.
you know what? I'm gonna try this again. Because I turned on the wrong microphone. Alright, and the last thing I have to say is,
Look, an echo chamber of derp.
Derp, 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 derp.
derp, 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 derp.
Derp, 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 derp. Derp, 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 derp. Derp, 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 derp,
Perspective. Gravity is not a force.
Today's new
Jerp. 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 Jerp.
Dub.